Green trees and blue lakes fill Brian Robeson's vision as he flies in a single-engine plane over the Canadian wilderness on his way to visit his father. Little does he know what he is about to encounter, the most difficult experience of his life. When the plane crashes and he is left the lone survivor on a rugged piece of land that juts out into the water.
Brian opened his eyes and screamed. The crash was over and he had survived. The plane had sunk in the lake. Through unbearable pain, Brian crawled out of the water. He rested briefly before falling back into a deep sleep.
When Brian awoke again, he was unbelievably thirsty. His lips were cracked and bleeding. Brian slowly made his way back down to the lake to drink. At first, he wasn't sure he should drink the water, but once he started, he could not stop. The water seemed to trigger his brain into action of all he needed to do. He began his shelter using the existing rocks and nearby trees.
Brian knew he could not continue if he did not eat. He ate some berries, but he knew he needed more. But what? Fish? He had seen the fish and knew he could catch them. Catching the fish was much harder than he had imagined, but he did it. Next, he would need to cook it, and what would mean fire? The hatchet. How easy it looks to hit the hatchet with a rock to get sparks and then fire. After survival attempts, Brian was successful. He cooked the fish and it tastes amazing.
He wasn't sure what he made him turn. Some smell, sound, but something warned him of danger. He saw the brown wall with a fur just as it came down on him like a runaway truck. He knew it was a moose when it hit him, but was amazed with its size. It moved away as quickly as it had come, giving Brian a little notice as it left.
The noise awakened him, a loud roaring sound that came from the wind. The noise was a roaring that was coming at him, the sound of a train. He knew it was a tornado. He whipped against the wall of the shelter, and everything was being tossed about. The lake was beginning torn by the wind, rising in a spot of water. Brian yelled into the storm, "Is that all you got? A moose? A tornado?" He had changed. He knew he would survive.
When it was over, Brian could not believe what he saw. His eyes scanned the area. No fire, no shelter, and all he had built was ruined. He looked down the shoreline for another parts of his home, and that is when he saw it. Sticking 7 or 8 inches out of the water was the tail of the plane. The plane that had brought him here. Could this be his only way home?